Alright.
Sure. Ignore me. It's not like we're about to crash into a mountain.
Excuse me. No. Get away from her right now.
Hey, what are you doing?
I am protecting an innocent child from a creep. Now step back or I am calling the police. It's okay, sweetheart. Come here. We'll call your parents together.
I am her father.
Oh, yeah, right. And I'm Taylor Swift.
So what are you saying?
I am saying there is no way you are this little girl's father. I mean, look at her and then look at you.
Hey, back off. Not that it's any of your business, but we don't look alike because she is adopted. But she is my daughter, and we just bought this house.
You bought this house.
You really shouldn't judge a person before knowing their story.
So, first of all, judging a book by its cover, sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. Okay? Now, let's say you are in a neighborhood where there's a lot of, let's say, Muslim problems with people from the Middle East being segregated and all like that, okay? And God knows, 1 out of 100 of them wants to adopt a white kid or whatever. The kid doesn't look white either. The kid looks like could be part Spanish or something. But you know, this is bad acting here because this is 2025. People don't care. People don't worry about this, and they don't worry about it out loud in public. Behind closed doors, they would be concerned. You know, but you know, the guy in this thing here looks kind of Arab. He looks like he's from the Middle East or something. I gotta admit, I don't expect too many Arab men to raise white kids or even Spanish kids, okay? I can expect them to adopt people of their own race, but depending on what part of Middle Eastern culture they come from, you do have to be concerned. You do have to be concerned, because just because they came over here to America, that doesn't, and that's one of the things that's going on right now in our country. Just because people come over here to America to live a better life, that doesn't make them non-criminal. When they come over here and they connect with white people, why are you connecting with white people if it's not to be more American and understand the American culture? What other reason are you hanging out with white people? What other reason do you have a kid that looks white living in your house? Okay? Hopefully you got for the right reasons, but I understand that this kind of stuff here is to trigger you to think that we still have Jim Crow problems in this country, and we don't. We just simply don't. So, where else do I want to go?
How great my dad is, and they will never call us names.
You really moved across the country to make your daughter happy?
I did. Even took a demotion and a pay cut to make it happen. And if I had to do it all again, I would. No hesitation. There's nothing I wouldn't do to keep her happy.
I don't know what to say. I am so sorry. I should...
And how many times have I found out that people, though, on the flip side of that, how many times have I found out that people have judged me wrongly, and when they found out, they were like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, they weren't apologetic about it. They just decided to stay out of my face about it. They didn't really give a thorough apology after misjudging me, okay? So that part of it ain't true either. You know, but just because they don't go out of their way to apologize and make it right, that doesn't make them racist. That doesn't make them stereotype me for racial reasons. There may be some other reasons, but it's not always about race, okay? And there is, a situation with people that get themselves into things when they don't have the money to get into them things. Okay? And there are people who have so much money, they don't care about their kids. They don't care about, what's going on in and out of their house. They don't care. They're too busy making their money. And so, all kinds of things that are happening. And so sometimes when people are rich, you do need to call CYS and have them go over there and deliver a child, But, this is propaganda though. And we're not living, this is 2025. People don't act like this when it comes to you looking different than them, because they expect if they walk into the unknown, they walk into the unknown indeed. Okay, if they walk into a company looking for a job in 2025, they know that the CEO could be Arab, he could be black, he could be Spanish. Who knows what the CEO is going to look like? Okay, and we know that a lot of different, we're finally letting black people adopt white kids, okay, in certain states and cities, okay. You can't judge anymore, you can't judge, and most people know that. Most people know that.
No better than to rush to judgments. Can you ever forgive me? Please?
Yeah. Okay. For Olivia.
Don't you worry about any of them. I will do everything in my power to make sure you feel at home here at your new school. All right? We all will, won't we? Yes! Hang that up for me now. Yeah, no, sorry, Richard.
Now this one here,
the bank's receptionist. Actually, Mrs.
This one here is really too much drama. I mean, even if this lady was that kind of lady, this is way too much drama. You wouldn't expect this to happen back in the 80s. This is just way too much drama, okay? She's making white people look more white than what they really are, okay?
Excuse me, I'm in a call. Who taught you your manners? This is an important call. Yeah. Didn't I ask you to hang that up? You did, but like I was saying... No, today is not the day for excuses and laziness. Now just do what I ask. Go. And fetch me a coffee.
One thing I like about her, though, the black girl, is she actually went and got this woman a coffee after all that. Me, I probably would have said, you know what, I'll get somebody to make you a coffee. And I would have made sure she understands that this is the person that makes you coffee, not me. But she humbled herself and made this woman a coffee. Now, I look up to that. But her behavior, that's propaganda. It's not real. The black woman, in most cases, the black woman would be like me. Like, I'm not going to get you a cup of coffee. Okay, you can ignore me talking to you all you want to. I would just walk away and, go in the other room or whatever and let her get done, talking on the phone and all like that, so she can come to me and understand who I am. But I don't know. I think I kind of look up to the black woman for going and making her coffee. Kind of Christian there. It's a good. It's a turning the other cheek, and it's heaping coals of fire on somebody, as the Bible says. That's pretty good. I just fear that I wouldn't be able to do it in this case, okay? And I don't criticize myself for that.
While you're at it, milk and 2 sugars.
You want me to bring you coffee?
Yes, that's what you people do, isn't it?
What you people do?
Very well then.
Boy, they really got this hyped up.
Wait in the conference room.
Sorry again, Richard.
Oh my God, this is way over dramatized.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm waiting for the CEO and the bank manager to sign this deal. A deal that's not only going to save our company, but make me rich in the process. Yeah, not bad for a Tuesday.
Here you go, Mrs. Stewart. You know, it's kind of funny. I think you may have been confused a little earlier. I don't usually do this sort of thing.
The thing about that is no one cares, least of all.
I gotta admit, right now, I have like a boss. Well, she's one of my bosses, and she sees me 4 days a week, and she just really has this bad idea about me. And she doesn't have it about all black people, though. She just has it about me. And I carry myself, first of all, as a Christian, as a man of integrity. I do my job, okay? I do my job to do my job and go home, okay? But she acts like, and then if someone speaks to me and I speak back, it's just me. It's not them speaking to me. It's just me speaking to them. And so, she gave me a violation for that because she claimed I was talking to somebody. But she talks to everybody and interrupts them while they're doing their work. Her assistant does it, and a lot of people that work there do it. But if you're not her favorite, okay, she will just penalize you for everything because she doesn't like you. You're not one of her favorites. So and I go through that, and I don't know if she honestly has any black. Well, she does have a lot of black people that she gets along with. I don't know if they're her favorites, but she gets along with them. But me, she sees me, it's like the taste gets slapped out of her mouth. She just, all of a sudden, she's having a bad night. That's why I'm looking for a new job, okay? Because, I don't want to be where I'm not wanted. You know what I mean? Because I can do better than this. I can do better. I can be around people that appreciate my services. You know what I mean?
Must you have her like that? Back. Yeah, don't stand so
Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what?
I said oat milk. Are you deaf? Are you actually trying to kill me?
Do you know that when COVID was going on, there were a lot of white people who thought that black people were carrying the coronavirus more than other races? Or they thought that melanated people were carrying the coronavirus. Now, I did hear that that black melanated people, brown-skinned people of any race, were actually dying more than white people from the coronavirus. But that doesn't mean that, all black people had the coronavirus, or nothing like that. But I remember, I was in Walmart, and I was standing like 10 feet behind this woman. No, I was standing 5 feet behind this woman. And she was like, "You're getting too close." And I was like, "Excuse me?" She was like, "You know what's going on. There's a coronavirus going around. There's a virus. You're getting too close." And it got so bad that, I tested one woman that did it to me. I had the guy in front of me, being he had the guy behind me, being he had less stuff. I said, "You know what, you want to switch places with me?" And she turned around and looked at him. One of these ladies, she turned around and looked at him and said hello and didn't care that he was standing only 5. So I proved what she was doing, but she was telling anybody black that came close to her, you know what I mean, you're standing too close, And it was just the ignorance of how people dealt with the corona. I don't even think that woman was racist. I think that because of her fear and anger about corona and her misunderstanding about the virus and how it works, okay, and matter of fact, they lied to us too. You know what I'm saying? Like, they lied. Do you realize how many things you do where you're putting other people's germs on your hands and in your mouth and on your skin and all like that? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen like that, but I just remember though, like when she told her to stand back. I remember during the coronavirus, there was a bunch of white people, like if you get into a checkout at Walmart or Target or something, people were like, "Can you please step back a little bit?" And I'm thinking, lady, I'm over 5 feet away from you. Like, what is the problem? And they were mainly doing it to men or to black men. I tested it out to see how it was being done. It was actually geared towards black people, but still, I don't think that those people were racist. I just think that they were just suffering, the virus, and that was their way of going through the pandemic. That was the way it was.
You said milk and 2 sugars.
Rule number 1 of being a good assistant: never talk back to your superior. Now, make it again and make it right this time. Today is tremendously important for me and my company. What I need to be...
Another thing that bothers me is somebody will look at this and say, well, the white lady at my job don't act like this, but she think like that. She think like that. I can tell she think like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't assume what anybody thinks. Okay? Don't assume what anybody thinks. Never assume what anybody thinks. Unless they come right out and say it to you to your face, do not worry about what they're thinking.
I was prepping, not taking care of a nitwit receptionist like...
I'm not a receptionist.
Oh, fine, an assistant. Whatever the PC police want to call you these days. The thing is, you're here to make my job easier, not more difficult.
What I'm trying to explain is that's actually not my job.
What did I tell you about talking back? Yes, you work for the bank, but right now I am the bank's biggest customer, which means you work for me. If you would just shut up and sit down for a minute, maybe you would learn something from your better. Like you thinks of me.
Who I am.
Excuse me, is there some kind of problem with the deal? Because all of us here at the bank are thrilled with the idea for long-term growth when this merger goes through.
Yeah, that's right. This is a really good deal for both of our companies. And, we started off in a rocky foot, but you need me just as much as I need you. So what do you say we toss it out and we just start over and start fresh and let's sign this deal? What do you say?
You're right. This is a good deal for both our companies. And just a few moments ago, it became an even better deal after I made a few last-minute alterations.
Well, what sort of alterations?
I just got off the phone with your board of directors, and I told them in no uncertain terms that I was prepared to walk away from this deal unless you were removed from your position.
You can't fire me.
Right again? I can't. But your board can. And they did. Turns out your own board thinks I can do a better job at running your company than you did.
This is outrageous.
Black people are really good actors. You know what I mean? Like, even though, this black woman here, she played both parts good. The humble part, I'm shocked. The humble part, I don't know no humble black people, but she played that humble part real good. And then she played the cocky, we just bought your company attitude part. She's playing that extra good too. I gotta admit, black women are good actors. I'm just saying, whether it's real drama or trying to do a movie. I forget what the girl's name is that was in that Wesley Snipes movie, I think it was Jungle Fever, and she played the part of one of the girlfriends or one of the black girls in the movie working with Wesley Snipes. And she was teasing this. You know what I'm talking about. She was teasing the Chinese girl who was dating a black man about her cooking, her Chinese cooking, and all like that. And both the Chinese girl and the black girl were like perfect actors. Like, oh God, just that scene right there is like, oh my God, they both deserve an Oscar. Like, wow, that was good acting on both of them. Even the Chinese girl who was half Chinese, half black. Wherever they found her at, and however they got her to do that part, however they trained her to do that part, she did a fantastic job.
You can't do this to me. Dear, my company needs me at my fullest potential. And if she fires me, it's going to be disaster for both companies and the bank.
Actually, Mrs. Stewart, the only variable in our risk assessment is your continued tenure as CEO.
What he's saying is the bank is surprised you weren't fired for cause sooner.
How dare you?
Oh, Matt, just in time. Please show Miss Stewart to the exit.
You can't do this to me. This is my company. I started this deal. No.
So, what do you say we close this deal?
Hey, watch it! Shouldn't you be down below with the other baggage handlers? You're the captain.
Just for the last 30 years. I'll be flying you to Los Angeles today.
You're serious?
Again, nobody gets on a plane, not even a KKK man, gets on a plane hoping that the pilot is not black. Okay, this is 2025. People may be racist here and there. There may be somebody racist, but they keep it to their own in the privacy of their home. They don't let nobody know about it outside. Years ago, back in the 80s and 70s, they probably did, but now things are different. It's 2025. Nobody goes anywhere and just assumes that the pilot or the CEO or the officer or whoever can't be black. Nobody is doing that in 2025. All they care about is, is the black person going to give me a job? Is this black CEO going to give me a job? Is he hiring me? Is he going to treat me with respect? He, she, okay, treat me with respect. Is that what's, or are we going to problem? You know, what's going on? You know, but they don't go there expecting like, oh my God, the pilot's black. Oh my God, the CEO's black. Nobody thinks like that no more. Nobody's acting like that in 2025. This is way over dramatized.
Airline actually trusts someone like you to fly this plane?
Someone like me?
Forget it. I knew I shouldn't have picked a woke airline. That's what I get for trying to save a buck. Can you believe this? A black pilot? What's next? A Chinese chef working at an Italian restaurant? Sure, ignore me. It's not like we're about to crash into a mountain or anything. Come on! What's the hold up?
We apologize for the delay. Sit tight. The captain's working on getting us underway as soon as possible.
Of course we're delayed. The pilot wouldn't know the first thing about being on time.
What exactly is that supposed to mean?
You know exactly what it's supposed to mean. Those types of people don't know the first thing about punctuality.
Isn't that a little racist?
It's not racist. It's reality. Don't be so sensitive. Of course.
I will say another thing that's over dramatized too. But I think today white people will just ignore other white people for your sake. Okay. Back in the day I had white friends that would referee for me when I had trouble with some of their friends that were coming from, a segregated part of town or whatever. We didn't, something about me rubbed their friend the wrong way. And they would, and they would just get quiet. They didn't correct their white friend for saying something about me or stereotyping me or making some kind of slang about me or anything like that. They would just get quiet on them and ignore them, okay? To their face. Actually, I had one friend, he was a close friend of mine, and I picked a friend of his, who just got off parole, and he started treating me like I was a drug dealer. I picked him up from prison. He's going to treat me like I'm a drug dealer. And I reach in my pocket, and I'm puffing my inhaler because I have asthma. He's like, oh, what kind of drug is that? He just kept on. My friend walked him in the bank. One of the places that we had to take him was to the bank. He walks him in, and then he gets back in the car. This is my white friend. He gets in the car, and he says, okay, take off, man. And I'm like, is he done? Or don't we have to take him home? He can get the bus home. He's so ignorant and racist. And I just figure, I'm dealing with a guy of that kind of character today. But nobody else, white, in my life has ever stood up to their white counterparts about their racist attitudes. Unless it was like on the job and they were the CEO or the manager or whatever, I was allowed, because the company got it like that, to present a case against racism if a white person didn't know how to speak properly or joke around properly or went too far with things or whatever, was ignorant and mean, Just like one of my bosses at my job right now while I'm getting another job. I don't know if she's racist. She pretends, unless it's a reality, she pretends to get along with other black people until she doesn't get along with them, but she just holds grudges. And it ain't me. It ain't just me. It's white people too, but I just still feel a lot of times that she does have a little prejudice in her tank, but I can't judge and say for real, because there are black people that she does get along with, and she laughs and jokes with them, and but when it comes to me, it's like I slap the taste out of her mouth every time she has a look at me. It's like her face just drops and she becomes somebody else, and I've never done anything so bad for her to be provoked this way. But whatever.
I had to be on this plane with that pilot today of all days. If I don't get to LA by 5, I'm going to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm being considered for Survivor. No. Can you believe it? Competing for $1 million. But that's never going to happen if we don't ever take off. This is ridiculous!
Ma'am, may I help you?
What's the pilot doing up there? We're supposed to be in the air already. We're just sitting on the tarmac.
I know, I'm sorry. But there's storms above the Rockies and the captain is working on an alternate flight plan.
Great. How's that coming along?
Shouldn't take too long. Captain Ron has an excellent estimated arrival time.
Be honest with me a minute.
Yeah.
Aren't you a little nervous flying with someone like him?
Why would I be nervous?
Because he's a basketball player rather than a pilot, flying the plane for one thing? What's wrong with you people?
Ma'am?
Don't you man me. I know I'm right. Those kinds of people are only good at sports and gangster rap, not flying airplanes.
Ma'am, Captain Ron is an excellent pilot.
I wasn't born yesterday, okay? We both know the only reason he got that job was so the airline could check off one of their DEI boxes. This kind of pandering to the woke agenda is going to end with a plane crash sooner rather than later.
I'm sorry, I need to help another passenger.
You know what would really help everyone on board? Replacing that gangbanger with a real pilot. me like that. Everyone here is thinking the same thing. It's just I'm the only one brave enough to say it. That man has a gang tattoo. I saw it. He's not qualified to fly this plane. I know it.
Ma'am, that is highly offensive.
Offensive is dying in a fiery crash. That's what's offensive. You know what the problem is with the world today? People worrying about being nice rather than honest.
Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to calm.
I am calm. But if you want me to stay that way, you're gonna go and call a new pilot. One without a criminal record.
I'll see what I can do for you. Sorry to bother you, but
I'll handle it. Thank you. This day, my crewmate tells me that you have a problem with me flying this aircraft today. Is that true?
You bet it's true.
What exactly is the problem?
The problem is, I have a very important meeting in Los Angeles, and you've already put us behind. None of you people can stick to a schedule.
You?
Very traumatized.
Are you saying that we're delayed because I'm black?
I don't think it. I know it. And so does everyone else on board.
Mrs. Day, we're delayed because of a thunderstorm. Not my melanin count. And every other pilot has been rerouted due to the storms, including the white ones.
Whatever. If you were late for a barbecue, we'd be in the air right now.
You know, as a captain of this aircraft, I don't have to ask you to show me and my crew the respect we've earned.
Give me a break. You and I both know you haven't earned anything. The only reason the airline gave you this job was to look good to a certain demographic.
Is that true?
Yes, it is. Your only qualification for this job is the fact that you can't get a sunburn.
You know, if that's really how you feel, then we're just gonna have to find a way to get you another pilot.
you really are a piece of work, you know that?
Go back to your book, Snowflake. I just saved your life.
Wait.
Are they finally getting us?
Wait a minute. Wait. A white person calls another white person a snowflake. I'm lost. Okay. You trying to hit two birds with one stone in this little drama.
That real pilot.
You know what, man? I've had to deal with small-minded people like you my entire life. People who think they know my life, know what I can or can't do, just based on the color of my skin.
Hey, it's not personal. It's just science. Your people are good at some things.
But flying planes with hundreds of people's lives on the line isn't one of them.
You know, see, that's the kind of bigoted thinking that my grandfather heard when he flew for the Tuskegee Airmen back in World War II. That's what this tattoo is. The 332nd Fighter Group painted the tails of their plane red, like the red-tailed hawk. My grandfather fought over 90 combat missions, defending his country at a time when most of them fought like you. They thought like men like me and him should only work in the mess halls, not even fly a plane. But my grandfather proved them all wrong by winning the Distinguished Flying Cross and 2 Bronze Stars.
Sure he did. And I'm Dolly Parton.
Oh, it's true. Not only did he fly in the war, but both my father and myself followed in his footsteps. I served in the Air Force for 25 years, and my father served 20 in the Navy. And even with my family lineage, I've had to endure the vile, racist, cruel comments, even like the ones you've been making my whole career. Even after I flew 30 combat missions myself in 3 different conflicts.
There's no way
any of that is true.
Oh, every word of it is true. You see, flying is in my blood. So all I ever wanted to do with my life since my grandfather took me up in his plane. And it's why I took this job after I retired from the Air Force. And yet everywhere I turn, I find people like you that try to put me down for not fitting into a box that makes sense to them. Maybe my life would have been a little easier if
One thing you gotta understand about real racism is there's a difference between racism and stereotypes. Okay, and a person telling you their stereotypes to your face is just ignorant. But racist people don't talk to you. If someone's racist, they're going to try and eliminate as much conversation with you as possible. So you don't get to explain why you are qualified to fly the plane or whatever. If somebody's racist, they're going to cut you off and say, "Well, go fly the plane and go fly the plane, then, dude." They're not going to argue with you and listen to your sad story. That's racism. They're not going to listen to you even after they said all that stuff. They don't want to hear what you got to say. They're going to cut you off, tell you to go fly the plane. You think you can get us there safely? Go fly the plane then. They don't want to hear you talking. And that's the way racist people are, especially, when it's, now why he is delaying flying, I don't know, but they're putting too much drama in these, and I'm gonna tell you, it's propaganda. It's very democratic. It's propaganda. People don't act like this, and ain't no black man gonna sit there and give you the entertainment by telling you their sad story. Okay, I'm flying a plane, and that's all there's to it.
I just listened to them and just quit. But I wasn't about to let those type of people hold me back then. And I'm sure I'm not going to let you do that to me today, ma'am.
Ma'am, Captain Ron has been voted the best pilot for 5 years in a row.
Good for him.
You may not like that I'm black. The fact is, I'm the best darn pilot you ever had the experience of flying with. Or I would have been. You're about to be escorted off of this plane.
What? Why?
We oblige your request for a new pilot. Captain Tom's flight leaves at 4. And these officers will be escorting you to your new gate.
Oh, that's too late. I have to be in LA by 5 or I'm gonna miss my audition for Survivor.
Actually, about that, I've been live streaming your racist little rant ever since you got on board, and oh, will you look at that, it went viral. Which is bad news for you, because it seems like a lot of people have emailed the link to the Survivor casting team.
They cancelled my audition. That was my big chance. How dare you? Hey! Get your hands off of me! What? Are you a moron? I said I wanted oatmeal.
You never asked for oatmeal. Are you calling me a liar now?
No, I never meant...
It's bad enough I had to spend 10 minutes in this line because you're the slowest barista the world has ever seen. But then you're...
This is propaganda, folks. This is propaganda. And it's very democratic. And this is the brainwash. This doesn't help bring peace to America. This doesn't help bring people together. This just makes a black person or an Arab person or whatever, a brown skinned person, go out there and expect somebody to be racist towards them. But it's propaganda. It really is. It's propaganda. I don't know. It's a whole social experiment and all that kind of thing, but it's acting. Okay, everybody in here is that actor. Okay, whatever. But it's propaganda. I wouldn't take this seriously.
Screw up my order.
I heard your order. You didn't say anything about oat milk.
Who asked you?
Okay, look, no need for the hostility. It's fine. I'll make you a fresh cup in a second, okay?
One thing I do appreciate, though, in this film is that there's always non-racist white people, because that's reality. Okay? That's reality. There's more non-racist white people around you than there are prejudiced white people. Every now and then you got one that wants to act up, not quite like this over-dramatization, but there are white people who do act up when they feel victimized or shut in any way, claustrophobic or whatever. Start acting up and blame it on your IQs, which is just as bad as, saying something about the color of your skin. But the majority of this is way over dramatized. It's propaganda. It doesn't help anything but Democrats put something in social media or whatever to get the crowd stirred up. Okay, that's all it is. It's propaganda. But I appreciate that they're not saying this is all white people, because there's always white people in here that are on the better side. So I'm glad they're doing that, because there are actually in real life white people that are on the better side. They might not be as fast at coming right out and saying it and defending you in front of everybody, but when they get you alone or something, they will, and they'll let you know in person that they got your back. And I've been there. Okay.
In a second? No. This is unacceptable. Where's your manager? I want to speak to him right now.
He's not in, and the other barista got a flat tire on the way to work, so I'm short-staffed and a bit overwhelmed with the morning rush. But I appreciate you all for your patience, truly.
Overwhelmed? You're not performing brain surgery. You're a barista, and the only reason you're struggling is because you're stupid, lazy, and you don't know the first thing about customer relations.
Caramel macchiato for Brittany?
Yes, thank you.
Hey, you're the one helping me, not her.
There's a line.
I want my caramel macchiato right this second.
These people have been waiting.
Let them wait. I assure you, I am far more important than anyone else in this line.
Another truth here is that in public places like restaurants, most of the time, 99.9%, it's black people that act like this. It's not white people. Black people will be the first to get into it with the lady behind the counter. Black people will be the first to put each other down based on their race when they both black. Black people will be the first to jump over the counter and start fighting, and weaves falling off their head and going everywhere and all like that. This is a social experiment. It's also propaganda. Again, it's propaganda. It's not helping America. It's giving would-be victims a way to stay victims, watching this stuff. Well, that's why we have these social experiment videos, whatever, because it's real. It's real racism. No, it's not. No, it's not. Nobody in 2025 is going to talk to you this way. Okay, and if they do, they're probably armed, and ready to cut you or stab you or shoot you or whatever.
I have a multi-million-dollar deal I need to prepare for, and I can't do that without my macchiato. So, you either get it for me, or you're going to be looking for a new job.
Another thing, if this was real, that woman would be on her head already. That black woman in real life would have jumped over that counter and punched her. Or she would have went off on her and went and got her manager or somebody above herself to go deal with this lady. She wouldn't sit there and let her talk to her like that. And she could still be humble and do her job and be good to everybody else and be a good worker. But she would have dealt with this woman already. Coming in the door, she would have dealt with this woman. That woman would only had a few minutes to talk to her like that. Not the way it is in this video.
Are you kidding me? Can I get a little help over here? Just a second. Don't bother. I'll take care of it myself. You have exactly 3 seconds to get out of that seat or I'm calling the cops.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you will be if you don't get away from my stuff.
I'm a customer. I'm allowed to sit here. Say.
Nobody goes up to a homeless person in a restaurant and says, you have so many seconds to get out of the chair. Because you don't want nobody sitting in the chair after they get out of it without sanitizing the chair. You ain't going to sit there, and you ain't going to let nobody that you know sit there. Okay, like, this is so over-dramatized. And the acting is bad. Like, you know, the acting, the skit is bad. It's first of all, it's portraying white people doing what black people normally do. Okay, black people are usually the ones that act up and make scenes and make it about race. And, it's just propaganda. It's very, very, very democratic. Very, very democratic.
It's you! Same as me? Oh, please. We're barely the same species.
Hey! You can't talk to this woman like that.
Don't you know letting in dirty hobos off the street is bad for business? Your manager would thank me for trying to run her out.
Yeah, that still doesn't give you the right to be so cruel. How is she bothering you by just sitting here?
She's bothering everybody by sitting here. That's my point. But I'm the only one who's honest enough to say it out loud.
Why don't you just sit at another table?
I chose this table specifically because it's the most private and I've got to do my work. So, you either kick this filthy bum out.
Nobody picks a table where a homeless person has been sitting. Nobody does that. You see a homeless person sitting there, you're going to give him or her the table and you're going to go sit clear across the restaurant somewhere. Okay? And everybody that walked in and saw that homeless person sitting at that table, they're not going to take that table unless that's the last table that they're going to use in the restaurant. They're they're going to leave that table alone. This is really way over dramatized, and some of it's fiction. Okay.
Where it should be, or the next call I make will be to your boss.
You are extremely cruel. Do you know that?
No one cares what you think, least of all me. But I can promise you, your boss will care a great deal about what I have to say if I make this phone call.
Ma'am, would you mind moving over there?
For you? Yes.
I'm so sorry. Really.
See, me, I'd have told that woman to get out. I'd have told that woman, you need to get out of here before I call the police. You're in here bothering this woman, and she ain't bothering you, and you're being disrespectful. I don't want to serve you. Like, you need to be packing and moving, or I'm gonna call the police and let them handle. It's your choice, baby. Like, what's up? You know, I would, once you gotta ask a homeless person to move to another table because somebody in there is hostile, instead of the homeless person being hostile, you got actual hostile in there. Okay? It's time to call the cops. That's the way I feel about it.
There. You happy now?
Not in the slightest.
Well, that's the best I can do because she deserves every right to be here. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait! I want a clean chair.
But the chair's not dirty.
She was just sitting in it. That means it's not clean. I don't want to catch any of her.
I agree with the bad lady on that. Like, when you're homeless and you live on the street, and you're not taking baths on a regular basis, and you're not able to wash your clothes, okay, that's like a dog sitting in that chair. That's like a stray dog out of the woods sitting in that chair. You need to sanitize that chair. That's why I said, instead of making it look bad for the homeless lady, most people wouldn't even want to sit there. Now, she wants to sit there, but she wants to make a spectacle out of you by making you know what I mean? Like, most people would just leave that chair blank if they know that a homeless person was sitting there. They would just leave it blank. Okay? They would leave that table alone for a while. You know. But this woman, you know, she's dumb.
Street person germs.
Ma'am, I have other customers.
All I want is to be able to sit and do my work from a chair that won't
She'd be in the hands of the cops by now if I was working there.
give me the plague. I know the health inspector. One phone call, and I can have this whole place downgraded to a D.
Fine. I'll get the cleaning supplies.
Oh, great, just perfect. I need some help over here.
Just a moment.
I don't have a moment. I need someone to pick up the spill right now.
How did this happen?
I got so distracted watching you fumble about up there. You know, seeing that this is the simplest job that even a chimp could do it, that I knocked my macchiato over. No. That's not gonna work. Get a mop and clean it off.
No, this will work for now, at least until the morning rush is over.
I don't want to hear your excuses. I want the job done right. My meeting starts in 5 minutes. I don't want my new investor slipping and breaking his neck. No wonder you're still a barista. You're too stupid to be capable of having a real job.
Fine. I'll get them up.
And again, I don't care if this black girl has been singing in the choir, or if she's in the military, or she's a nurse, a doctor, whatever. There ain't no black woman gonna put up with that kind of rhetoric for more than a minute. How long has this video been going on where this white woman has just been nasty? Oh my God, black people ain't that patient, and white people ain't that radical. Let me say it again. Black people are not that patient and that, you know, forgiving, and white people are not that radical. They don't talk to their you know, detainees like that. They don't talk to their slaves like that. They just don't. Not in 2025, you know.
Robert! Oh, it's so good to see you again. Have a seat.
Great.
It's been a rough morning.
Okay, that's a new twist. Because he's black, and she, again, you know, now this is kind of honest, that white people can treat some black people that way because of what they don't have, and then treat other black people on a, you know, pedestal because of what they do have, you know. And this is a prime example right here.
Boy, look at that. Okay, well, I must tell you, my partners and I are very excited about closing this deal.
As is my board of directors, I assure you. This won't just save my company. It's gonna make us both rich. Okay, so I compiled all the projections for the next 2 quarters post-merger, and I think you're gonna like what you see.
This is good. This is very good, actually.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee before we dive into the nitty-gritty.
You're welcome to try, but good luck. The barista they have on this morning, she might be the slowest, most incompetent 20-something I've ever seen in my life.
Is that right?
You have no idea what she put me through this morning. And instead of taking responsibility for her scrubs, she blamed it all on being short-staffed. Can you believe that? Young people these days, I'm telling you. The future's doomed.
Wow. Well, that's very surprising. I've always found the service here exceptional.
It's probably because you've never been here on a day when she's working. I'm telling you, she's a nightmare. Here she comes now. It's about time. Pick this up before Mr. Jones slips in it. First thing I'm going to do when I get back to the office is call the manager here and have this one fired. She's the worst.
Dad? Oh, what are you doing here? Dad?
I knew it! I knew it!
Well, I was just about to close the deal a couple of days ago.
I knew it!
Come here and finish this off and then take you to lunch.
Wait, your big deal is with her?
What, is that a problem?
I mean, if you've seen how she's acted all morning, you'd want nothing to do with her. Trust me.
Wait. I can explain everything.
You mean, acting like what?
Well, first, she spit her coffee all over the place. Then she called me lazy and stupid. Then she tried to get me fired after she made an innocent homeless woman cry. She's entitled, angry, and toxic. Not a good mix for a future business partner, if you ask me.
Did she now?
This is all a big misunderstanding.
No, it's not. You've come in here 4 times this past week, and each time you're condescending and rude. I call it a pattern.
It's not like that, Robert, I swear. Before I get my morning coffee, I am a bit pretty.
You can say that.
You want menopause before you get your morning coffee.
Sweetie.
Oh, yeah, now that April's here, let's do it.
Well, wait, what about the deal?
Don't worry, I'll invest and save your company. But, you will not be CEO.
What?
You see, I wonder why a company like yours with so much potential is just getting by. Now I know it's because of your poor leadership skills. You said my daughter was lazy and stupid. The fact of the matter is, she's at the top of her class at Stanford Law. She chose to work here to pay off her school so she didn't have to ask me for a handout. My daughter is an excellent judge of character.
And there's some truth to that, because a lot of white people as well as black people don't realize that when you have a black person that speaks normal English, no ebonics, no slang, okay, you better be careful. Okay, I made that mistake. Okay, I made that mistake hanging out with some, a black man, decided to be so nice to me, let me hang out with him or whatever, and then, I've sat there and talked to him about, all the stuff that's going on and all the stuff that's wrong, and next thing you know, all these white people walk in, he got all these white friends, and the next thing you know, he's talking about this with them and talking about that with them. They're asking him for advice and all this kind of stuff. I mean, and I was shocked. Because I was looking at and I was wrong. That's why I am the way I am today, because I was looking at the color of skin. And, so, it is true that they played that part good as far as the black girl. I think she played her part pretty well. White lady's too over dramatized, but now that I realize the black girl, is trying to become, a huge deal, I can see why she was so humble and why she speaks so properly and all like that. And again, if you meet black people that speak perfect English, they describe things in several words instead of just a couple words. They got, you can see they got a high IQ. Okay, you better be careful. You better be careful. Just like this girl here, this woman here being a dummy, and her dad walks in the door. Okay, she calling the man dad. And you just got busted.
She says you're no good. You're no good.
My clients won't agree to any deal that doesn't include me.
Yes, they will, because without my investment, your company will go bankrupt. I think they'll gladly sacrifice you to save their jobs. Don't you? Let's go, honey.
more than your life.
Sorry, I didn't.
Where are your parents? Whose child is this? You can't let your teenagers roam around the dealership without supervision. This is a place of business, not a toy store.
I'm actually here by myself.
This is a showroom for real customers, not bimbos who are looking to get clicks on Instagram by posing next to expensive cars.
Yes, no, I know I go call somebody a bimbo in a car lot. Get that out of here, man.
I'm not looking to post a photo on Instagram. I'm just here to buy a car.
At this dealership?
Is this a joke? Why is that so hard to believe?
Because there's no way someone like you can afford a luxury automobile. These are for elite clients, not people like you.
Well, I can afford one of these cars. I did my research and I crunched the numbers.
Someone who has to crunch the numbers doesn't have the income to afford these vehicles.
I think you'd be surprised at what I can afford.
Do you mean what your rich mommy and daddy can afford? Because I'm sure they're gonna be the ones paying for it. Or are we talking about a sugar daddy situation? Because if it's all the same to you,
Now, this makes more sense than putting color in it all the time. This is a good one here, without the color. You misjudging a book by its cover. I still think she's a little bit over dramatized here. You know, she's still a little bit over dramatized here, because anybody won't say all that, but you know.
Rather just skip ahead and speak to them, because I'm sure they're the ones with the actual buying power.
That's me. Not my parents, not a husband or a boyfriend. Me.
Sure, and I'm Bigfoot.
Karen, there's a customer on line 1 for you.
What? I told you multiple times your credit score is too low. There's nothing I can do.
What is she still doing here? Maybe I can try to sell to her.
Sell to her? Oh my god, you're such a moron. We'd be lucky if she could afford a cup of coffee.
I thought we were supposed to treat everyone who walks through those doors like family.
Don't be ridiculous, Pam. Okay, fine. If you're serious about buying a car, let's head over to the used car lot where I'm sure we can find something in your price range.
I didn't come to the most exclusive car dealership in town for a used car. I came for a new one.
Be serious. These cars cost more money than someone like you will ever see in a lifetime.
It wouldn't hurt for her to look around, would it?
I don't remember asking for your opinion.
Wow.
Please go back to sorting brochures while I handle this disturbance.
I'm not trying to be a disturbance. I'm just trying to buy a car.
See, at this point, I would take my business elsewhere. It'd be nice to show her, this woman, that she can buy the car, but I like that scene in Exit Wounds. Remember when, is it Deja Vu? I think it's Deja Vu. He went to go buy a car, and the black man says, "Guy like you cannot afford any of these cars. Why are you even in here? You're just trying to, you know." And he bought the car, but he gave the white man all the commission, because the white man treated him good and the white man knew him. The black dude didn't know him, and he was just being judgmental. But that was a good scene in that movie. It's kind of fictional, but whatever.
3 times over. Real customers arrived. I need you to leave.
I'm a real customer and I have questions.
Okay, fine. If you're gonna waste someone's time, it's not gonna be mine. Pam, I need you to answer this child's questions while I handle a real customer.
Sure, I would love to. Okay, so
and do not let her touch anything, and absolutely no test drives. Understood?
I'm sorry about her. Here, right this way.
I'd have been out of here by now.
I see you're a man of means who knows what he wants, am I right?
Yes, you are.
Well, let me show you the Porsche.
Okay, so I have been obsessed with this car since the moment I started working here. This one comes with an all-leather interior, an advanced drivetrain, and an infotainment center. She's so pretty.
$5 says she doesn't even know how to turn on the car, let alone drive it. What? Don't look at me that way. I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. You and that car do not belong together because you don't belong here in the first place. But you, this car was made for someone with class, just like you.
I do like the design. It's sleek and elegant.
Oh, exactly. You're a man that appreciates a ride for what it is, a work of art. Unlike other people who are just looking for something pretty to pose next to in socials.
Hey, why don't we check out this one over there? We just got it in and I think you're going to love it.
It's so beautiful, right? And she apparently flies when you open her up, or so I've been told. Pam, this car is the most expensive car on the whole lot. Not only is it out of her price range, but there's no way she can handle all this power.
Does this come in blue? Well, if it doesn't, we can get one custom painted for you.
Yeah, for an extra $50,000. Good luck getting that financed with your barista job. Oh my god, the computer is going to explode when it runs her credit.
Hey, that's enough. You shouldn't talk to anyone like that, let alone a customer.
She's not a real customer, that's the whole point.
It costs you nothing to be kind.
Okay, Pam, I'm your supervisor, and I tell you.
To me, when it comes to car stores, music stores, furniture stores, whatever, if somebody comes in and they just want to go window shopping, okay, that all is part of that's all part of the hype, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to car lots where guys have invited me to come down there and check out the cars knowing that I'm not going to buy any of them because they know that my future will be to buy that car, okay, or a car similar to it, or my future is to buy a brand new car that's never been driven before, you can go to a store and be a real customer without having to be really paying them anything. You know what I'm saying? Whether you go in the store and buy something or not, that doesn't make you a real customer or a fake customer.
What to do, not the other way around.
It's just not right to judge someone on their appearance.
I can tell a real customer from some bimbo playing make-believe. That's what I mean.
I appreciate what you're doing, but it's okay. Please, do not get in trouble on my account. What else can you tell me about this car? Of course. Look, if you look at this interior, you're going to love it. It has so many new features.
Did you finally come to your senses and ditch Blondie?
Actually, I think I made my first sale. Isn't that exciting?
No, you didn't. It's not a sale until financing is approved. And there's zero chance of that happening when you run her numbers. All you've done is waste 2 hours of your life. Meanwhile, I reeled in a whale. And with the commission from this sale, I'm going on a first-class trip to Europe. Boss! Guess who sold the Porsche?
Here we go.
Really? Oh, excellent work, Karen. Wait a second. Is that Lily Thomas? Is that really you?
Wait, you know this girl?
Oh, the whole town is buzzing about her. Didn't you see the piece they did in the news last night about her? Lily here just made a fortune selling her app to Microsoft for 8 figures.
Yeah, it's been a fun month, that's for sure.
I am just thrilled that you chose my dealership to buy your next car.
Well, this is the best dealership in town, so they say. But to be honest, I wasn't sure that was true when I first got here. Your supervisor.
You know, that is funny, you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, like, people can win the lottery, and the first thing they do is go buy a brand new car. I always told myself like that. If I was to ever hit it big at the casino, I'd go straight to the car dealer, if it's in broad daylight, and buy me a brand new car, because I've been wanting a brand new car and never had one. Okay, I've had plenty of cars, but never a brand new one. Plenty of second-hand cars, but not a brand new one. I always wanted a brand new car that ain't never been touched before, that got nothing but 0 miles on it, you know. But, you know, which one, do I need to dress up to go in there? I mean, me going in there as a short 5'3.5" black man, okay, you know, I don't think anybody's going to talk to me like this tall, young hoochie mama been talking to her. I don't think nobody's going to talk to me like that. They're going to be like, where are you getting the money? I won the lottery. Oh, let me get somebody to help you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know that if I, you know, they know that. Do you know how many people win the lottery and go to car dealerships immediately? There's 2 places where a lot of people that win big on the lottery will go. They'll go either to buy a home, they'll go to a real estate company, or they'll go to the car dealership most of the time. And that might be just something they did in the middle of other things that they had to do, you know. But you that's why you can't judge a book by its cover, because just because you won the lottery, that don't mean that you're gonna go get all dressed up to just go buy a car. You know, you'll get all dressed up when you go to that vacation spot, but you ain't gonna get all dressed up, you know, to buy a car. You may go to get the car in some sweats and some Timberlands and a t-shirt with some stains on it. I mean, you just, you know, there's it's true. You cannot judge a book by its cover, because you don't know. You really don't know.
Not only hit me with a towel, but she spent most of the morning insulting me.
Oh, did she?
Wait a second. It's not my fault. I didn't know who you were. Fortunately, Pam was wonderful and kind, and she was very nice.
I knew that was going to happen.
Wonderful saleswoman. She made me completely forget about you.
Well, it's a relief to know that at least one of my sales team knows what they're doing.
Don't forget, boss, I sold the Porsche, so...
Well, actually, your Rails financing just got rejected.
What? That can't be. You're broke? Why didn't you tell me? Where are you going? Come back here right now! Oh, maybe next time you'll think twice before you judge a person based on their appearance.
So, not only did you spend the entire morning insulting Miss Thomas, but you also didn't make the sale.
It wasn't my fault.
It is your responsibility. I'm going to demote you back to sales associate.
What?
And Pam, this was supposed to go to Karen. Let's see how it looks on you.
You're making her my boss?
If you don't like it, you can quit.
Alright, I'm gonna stop there, folks. I ain't gonna watch all this. It's enough. A lot of over dramatization here. A lot of first of all, racism doesn't work like this anymore. Even judging a book by its color doesn't work like this anymore. We're a different America now, even with everything going on with the Democrats versus Trump and everybody hating on Christians and all this kind of stuff. We're a different country than we were years ago, back in the 80s and 70s, okay? White people don't judge, especially in 2025. They don't judge like that anymore. They just don't. white people are either for you or against you. That's the way they operate right now. They're either for you or against you. And if they're against you, they do it privately. They don't do it publicly, you know. I mean, one thing people will do, I remember not too long ago, I used to work at a light company, an electric company, as a security officer. And when I would get off the bus to walk to work at night in that neighborhood, and there's not too many blacks in that neighborhood at all, a guy would ride past me and call me N-word, okay? But one day when I was in the aisle with that guy at the ice cream shop and I seen the car, I could tell, and he was looking at me out of the corner of his eyes like, oh shoot, because he knows that first of all, he ain't going to call me the N-word in front of all these people in this line. Thank God. Now, years ago he might, but not today, okay? Second of all, he knows that if I understand that, match the car up with the perp, that now I know who the perp was in that car, you know, I might be packing. I might be, you know, I might get my revenge. So he was very quiet, and he hurried up, and he got out of there, and I just wanted to, I want him to call me an N-word when he got in the car so I could write down his license plate number, okay? But no, he got in the car, he tried to act like I don't know him, like I've never seen his car, you know, but bottom line is this is a little bit too much. It's not really truthful. It's propaganda. It's the Democrats trying to open you up to something that's already open. No one has to open you up to it. And you know, we pretty much understand everything that conspired here. So I'm going to close there. Thank you for watching. Hope this video speaks to your heart or something. And I'll see you soon more.